Hello everyone. Today, I, Dr. Tina Singh, Assistant Professor at Kanoria Mahila Mahavidyalaya, Jaipur, will start with the topic of Mahatma Gandhi. Today, we'll be discussing about the teachings and the preachings of Mahatma Gandhi and the application of these teachings in management today. In the corporate world, how can we become good managers or how can we become good entrepreneurs by using the teachings and the lessons given by Mahatma Gandhi? So we'll start with the lecture by understanding Mahatma Gandhi's life, work, and ideology. Mahatma Gandhi, as we all know, is one of the most legendary figures in the Indian history. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, as his full name, he was born on October 2nd, 1869 at Porbandar, Gujarat. At the mere age of 13 years, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was married to 14-year-old Kasturba Gandhi, and it was an arranged child marriage. After that, in 1888, he completed his matriculation studies in India at Rajkot, and he then moved to London to study on September 4th, 1988, to study law, and came back as a barrister to India in 1891. So here we are trying to study, first of all, the chronology of events that took place in Mahatma Gandhi's life, which influenced him. Like, he was a normal child born on October 2nd, 1869, and was then, due to child marriage, he was married at a very early age of only 13 years. So at that particular time, he wasn't even, he hasn't even completed his matriculation. So after marriage, he completed his barristership or his degree in law. And then this chronology will help us in understanding how his life events changed his perspective towards life. So after coming back to India, then Gandhiji again moved to South Africa. In South Africa, this was like one of his major transformation times because he faced all kind of racial prejudices while living there. Many incidents in South Africa aroused Gandhiji's sense of social justice. There he cannot, he was so deterred, he was so moved by the incidences of racial prejudices that the sense of social injustice and the need for social injustice started in his life from there itself. Then in January 1915, Gandhiji finally returned to India. And from that particular time, he started traveling in India. He was introduced to Indian issues, politics, and Indian people by Gopal Krishna Gokhale. So basically, it was Gopal Krishna Gokhale who introduced him to the problems that the Indians are facing. He was the one, Gopal Krishna Gokhale was the person who introduced him into politics, that how and why do we need to throw the Britishers out, and why do we need the independence for India from the British rule. Then on March 11th, 1930, Gandhiji, along with other satyagrahis, started from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi on foot. He broke the salt law on April 6, 1930. From here, basically, he rang the bell for the Britishers that I am here to fight against you. But the fight for him doesn't mean to go and fight with weapons or bloodshed. For fight, he means by non-violence. So this was April 6, 1930, basically, was the day when he broke the salt law and gave an alarming bell to the Britishers that I am here to take independence of my country. Then on May 8, 1933, Gandhiji began a 21-day fast of self-purification to help the Harijan movement. At that particular time, there was so much social injustice going on in India as far as the Harijans were concerned. Harijans basically were the people. Harijan was a name given by the Gandhiji itself to the people of the lower caste. There was so much discrimination in the Indian society towards uh, by the upper caste people towards the lower caste people. So Gandhiji gave them the name that the Shudras, at that time they were called as Shudra, he gave them the name as Harijan, basically meaning the people of God. Gandhiji returned to active politics again in 1936 with Jawaharlal Nehru. Gandhiji started the Quit India movement in 1942. So this Quit India movement basically is a very famous movement in the history of independence of India. That here Gandhiji started this movement in 1942, and he was sent to jail for around a period of 2 years, and then he was released in 1944 because of his failing health. He was getting so his health was getting so depleted. He stopped eating food. He wasn't taking good care of himself, and so the Britishers released him from the jail. And then under his leadership, India got independence, as we all know, on August 15, 1947. And then later on, after just an year, 6 months or so, on January 30, 1948, at a prayer meeting, Gandhiji was assassinated by Nathuram Godse. So it is like a very prodigy that the person, the apostle of non-violence, Gandhiji, had fallen the victim to violence. Nathuram Godse shot a bullet on him, and he died on January 30, 1948. So this was like a brief history about Gandhiji. Now, what was Gandhiji's dream? There were mainly two dreams in his life. The first dream was liberation of India from the British rule. That was, as we all know, he wanted to get India independence from the British rule. While the second was liberation of Indians from oppression and injustice, from iniquity and inequality, and from discord. That is the social injustice system that is prevalent in India, the injustice, the iniquity, the inequality to among the caste and creeds of the people, that he wants to liberate the Indians from. He wanted that the Indians should get free from this caste system. There should not be inequality based on the gender of the people, based on the caste they are born in. Gandhiji's philosophy basically has three cardinal rules, that is truth, love, and non-violence. He was a follower of truth. He wanted to spread love and have a loving and calm society with the help of non-violence. So this was the basic introduction, or we can say the life and work of Gandhiji in a chronological order. Now we'll move forward and study about the unique personality traits of Mahatma Gandhi. That the Mahatma Gandhi, why was he given the salutation of Mahatma? Why was he called Mahatma? So it was the basic personality traits in him that the people in India just followed him. He was a barrister. He could have just followed his practice of law, but his sense of social injustice, that the people are going through so much of injustice, people need liberation from thoughts and from the Britishers, and that kind of his personality really made so many followers for Gandhiji. So basically, we can say that as Rabindranath Tagore once quoted for Mahatma Gandhi, that the influence which emanated from his personality was ineffable, like music, like beauty. When Mahatma Gandhi was there, when he is speaking, everybody was enchanted by his words. Everyone was like enchanted by his persona. So basically, now we'll be going through some of the unique traits of Mahatma Gandhi's personality. First is a political savior. Gandhiji was not only the savior of few devotees and religious followers, but a political savior for all politics-ridden nation. There was a lot of politics going on among the different political parties. Everybody wanted to be the hero or the leader, but he was like a savior amongst them, that let's not work for our own self, let's work for the welfare of the nation, let's work for the welfare of the people of the nation. Gandhiji left religious leadership to enter the field of politics. So basically, he was a political savior. He helped people to be into politics in a better way, to do politics for the welfare of the people. A perfect example to politicians, Gandhiji was a religious politician. His base in politics was religion. With all his manifold political activities, Gandhi is a perfect example to all biased, one-sided politicians who use their God-given intelligence for selfish material gain. So basically what we see today is that the politicians today uses religion to discriminate people. Gandhiji was also in favor of religions, but he was like, follow your own religion. None of the religion teaches you to be having enmity with others, to fight with others. All the religions teaches the teaching or give the teachings of love, give the teaching of non-violence. So spread love, have non-violence. So that's how it is like a perfect example to politicians that don't discriminate people according to their religions. Let everybody be together. Strict moralist. Gandhiji was a strict moralist or a self-controlled person. He had, he was having, he mastered his senses. He can control his senses. In the chronological order, we have already seen that he fasted for many days. He can fast for literally for like a month or so because he had control over his senses. He can manage his senses. So in South Africa also, Gandhiji fasted for weeks in the jail. His first duty of all duties was in meditating upon God regularly for a time every day and to observe silence one whole day and a week. Nothing can make him speak. So that's how through meditation he was having and he's having that control over his senses. That is why he can follow all kind of that morals in his life. A spiritual leader, as we know, spiritualism is to gain that inner happiness, to spread happiness to the world, to leave yourself at the last and let everybody be in the front. You have to think about everyone else in the world rather than just you. So, Gandhiji was a very spiritual leader. He studied theology and had full faith in God. He he chanted the prayers of each faith, be it Hindu, Christians, Islam, Zoroastrians, and any religion in the world. He used to chant the prayers of all these religions. Mahatma Gandhi was a modern spiritual mystery. Due to spirituality, he was able to solve the complicated problems of the East and the West. So he was a very religious person. He studied all the religions. Bhagavad Gita used to be his favorite book, which he used to read every day. To gain spiritualism, Bhagavad Gita is like one of the best books to read because it gives you a clear picture of who you are, why have you taken birth on this earth, who is God, and what does God want you to do. So all these things can be cleared very clearly in your head through Bhagavad Gita. So Gandhiji read Bhagavad Gita, Gandhiji read all kinds of literature from Muslim religion, from Christianity or Zoroastrians. And then he basically said that, and he was able, because of that spiritualism in him, he was able to solve the problems, not only of our own country, India, he tried to solve, but of the Western countries also. Then why is he called the father of the nation? India existed as a country even before Gandhiji, but it was Gandhiji who transformed it into a nation when he converted Indian statehood into nationhood. Gandhiji was rightly called the father of the nation by no less a person than Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. This connotation of father of the nation was given to Gandhiji by Subhash Chandra Bose. So basically, it was like at the time when Gandhiji started his freedom struggle and he became the leader of Indian movement of independence, at that time India was not a united nation. It was like statehood going on. Every state was fighting for their own rights. Every state was working for their own rights. But he united the whole nation together, and that is why he is known as the father of the nation. And this title was given to him by Subhash Chandra Bose in a speech in 1944. Then multi-talented, Gandhiji was a very mediocre student till the time he was doing his matriculation studies. But then when he started studying about law, he gained interest into it. Then when he started reading Bhagavad Gita, he gained interest in spirituality. And while seeing the behavior of the people, the social injustice prevalent in the countries, he started thinking about all these things. So he was basically a very multi-talented, or we can say a very gifted personality he had, that he is like some of the thinkers have given him even the title of a mystic monk and a political thinker. So that means he's a very multi-talented person. Then a great saint. Gandhiji has been portrayed as a saint by many of the Western thinkers because he was very humble. He was very humble person, and he's searching after truth. He was looking forward what is the worth of a human being. If you have taken birth, you have to be worthful. So he was a religious teacher. He was a living symbol of moral power and goodness in men. He seemed to be a conscious of humanity. He identified himself completely with the poor and the weak, with Daridra Narayan. He basically, as we have already studied in that Harijan movement, he he could just attach so much. He could just be so much with the poor and the downtrodden people, that people have really, and he was having so much like that, I need to spread happiness in the world. And he used to grab them, he used to hug them, he used to give them all kind of love which he can. That is why he is called a great saint. Then reluctant politician. Gandhiji was not born as a politician, not even as a political agitator. Basically, he was a reluctant politician. He never wanted to enter into active politics. While gaining freedom also for India, he could have easily become the Prime Minister of India, but he does not want to attain that position. He was essentially a very religious minded person, a humanist, we can say, and a man of action and intuition. His entry into politics was a matter of coincidence. He entered into politics, but he doesn't want to take that political positions and all. He doesn't want to have that political powers with him. He chose himself for it as a matter of duty. Politics to him was just like not the end, but just a way to reach independence for India. He wanted to spiritualize politics. Basically, that's what we have studied in the previous point also, that he was like a role model for today's politicians, that he wanted to spiritualize politics. We should not be like doing discrimination in politics. So he was basically a reluctant politician. Then is a social reformer. Gandhiji was more than mere a politician, he was a social reformer. He was against social oppression and injustice. He opposed violence and class war. He was always resisting the evil forces of injustice and tyranny. Gandhiji revived Buddha's ethics of ahimsa and applied it so he really applied that principle of ahimsa to all the social and political problems, be it the movement for Harijans, be it the breaking of the salt law. He was really like a reformer. He wanted to reform the Indian society, the social injustice according to the caste, according to the class. He wanted to remove all those things. Then man of action. Gandhiji basically was an actionist. He doesn't want to preach people. He wants to lead by example. He believed in self-help and voluntary action. He used to do things by himself. He never took help of any servant doing the daily routine things for him, as well as he doesn't want to just give gyan to people, but he wanted to showcase that how I am doing, you people can also do the things. That is why he is a man of action. Gandhiji was not an intellectual in the accepted sense of the term. Though a well-read man, he was neither a scholar nor a philosopher. He was not a theoretician. He never believed in giving theories. He was a preeminently a man of action. He used to do things, not by just giving the gyan to people. Let's do it. Then a world figure. Mahatma Gandhi would stand out more and more as a world figure as time goes on. As we can see, the Gandhian philosophy or the teachings of Gandhiji are widely accepted world over. Everybody in the world, for his teachings of truth, for his teachings of non-violence, ahimsa, he has been accepted because we can see in world today, everybody is fighting over things. Everybody is having so much egoism in them. So in this type of situation, the Gandhian philosophies can also are the only solution to solve the matters of the world. So basically, we can say that Gandhi was undoubtedly a remarkable person on this earth who made a tremendous impact on the contemporary world. Then, fighter without bloodshed. As we all know that, Gandhiji has been a fierce fighter and an unbending agitator. He used to keep fast, and how much hard Britishers used to try, he'll not break his fast. So he was like a very unbending agitator, but at the same time, he was a fighter without bloodshed. He never believed in shedding blood. He was always on the side of non-violence. His fighting against British rule was based on non-violence, pure love, and non-cooperation. He made radical political changes without bloodshed, as we all know that. He gained independence to India without without use of any kind of violent measures or bloodshed or any kind of like all those things. So basically, he changed the overall persona of fighting for freedom. That yes, we can attain freedom without all these things also. So these are some of the characteristics or some of the unique features of the personality of Gandhiji. Now we'll try to understand the philosophy of Mahatma Gandhi. That what are the Gandhian philosophy, which is very evident these days, which is very famous these days. What were the main philosophy that Gandhiji gave? The concept of trusteeship. Trusteeship concept is Gandhiji's most revolutionary economic philosophy. It is a theory of need-based production, equitable distribution, and social justice. Basically, he told he was under the belief system that people, the people in power should not think or should not believe themselves as the owner of this nation or the owner of the resources of this nation. They just they must just treat themselves as the trustee or the caretaker of these resources. So, be it the economic resources, be it the natural resources of the country, anything, he really based on need-based production. What people need, you should be producing what we need. Don't exploit the nature. So he believed in all those kind of social justice and things. All people having money or property should hold it in trust for the society. It means that all the money and property originally belongs to society, but it stands distributed among all for the purpose of their livelihood. So he was basically trying to tell people that don't get egoistic, that I have so much property or I have so much money. No, you don't own these things. These are of the society. So he basically gave that concept of trusteeship. Second is about religion and morality. For Gandhiji, he used to believe that religion and morality are one of the same things. They are interchangeable. These two things, he elaborated these two, religion and morality, through his 7 principles. I'll just tell you about those 7 principles. Principles of non-violence. Basically he wanted to say that if you say that I follow my religion, I'm a very moral person, then these are the moral characteristics that you should have. You should be following non-violence. You should be always speaking truth, non-stealing. You should not be stealing things from other. Then non-possession. Don't be into that ego system. Don't be into that self-love. Non-possession is the main thing. Physical labor. Keep on doing physical labor. He was very much in favor of doing physical labor. Everybody should do their own work. Control of the palate. Don't work or don't live just for eating food. Keep control over your palate. Keep control over your tongue. You're not just to eat food. Your body needs food as an energy source. So think of food only as a source of energy and not as a pleasure. Then fearlessness. Gandhiji was a very lean and simple person, but he was very fearless. He never feared Britishers or anybody in this world because he was working on the, he was moving on the path of truth. So he never feared people. Equality of all religions. He believed that all the religions are equally. None of the religion is good or bad. Every religion gives us the principles of love and truth and non-violence. Then Swadeshi system, that we should be self-reliant. We should always try to consume products, make products of our own nation. We should be very self-reliant. Discarding of untouchability. This is one of his major philosophy of morality, that when God has created all these people, why should we do this untouchability and all such social injustice to people? So these are his basic characters that, or basic things that he taught us about religion and morality. Then he gave the concept of spirit-centered theory of leadership. Spirit-centered, basically that comes from Bhagavad Gita, that you should be having, there are basic, he enumerated certain elements that a leader should have. A leader should have silence. He should seek for truth. When you can sit silently, then only you can seek for truth. You should have humility. A good leader should have these characteristics, like he should sit silently for some time. He should have humility. He should have the quality of non-possession, that I am the leader, I possess all the things. No, then you're not a leader. You should have non-possession. Whatever I have is for the people. It is by my followers that I have been gifted with these things. Then self-purification, purification of your mind. Self-purification basically is purification of your mind. Keep fasting. He really believed that a person should fast so that he can control his senses. And then prayer. He believed in religion a lot. So by having all these characteristics or elements in one person, a person can become a good leader. That is why he advocated this spirit-centered theory of leadership. Then comes change of heart theory. Gandhiji believed that a man is a rational being, as we all know. Then he has, the person, everyone has intelligence, capacity to learn, capacity to self-control and self-direction. But he, everyone has the feelings, emotions, psychological impulses, which at times makes people stronger. And these emotions sometimes dominate our intelligence. So we need to keep control over these things. Gandhiji basically, by his change of heart policy, wanted to effect change in both the aspects of human personality, the head and the heart. He wanted that the people should increase their intelligence level, as well as need to control their sense organs, need to control their anger, their emotions. So that is what he meant by change of heart theory. Then spiritualizing politics. To Gandhiji, politics should be rooted in morals. If a person does not have moral character, he cannot be a good politician. He'll ruin the nation. So he wanted to spiritualize politics. He basically, for politics, is essential as religion, but if it is divorced from religion, it is like corpse. So basically, he told that you should think about non-possession, non-attachment to things, and then enter into politics. Then comes his theory of non-violence. As we all know, he is considered as a god of non-violence. Non-violence is not a new concept. It is as old as hills and Indian civilizations. But Gandhiji gave a new dimension and interpretation to non-violence. Then comes the concept of Swaraj. Swaraj is basic. He said that it is like one of the basic rights of every human being. It is one of the basic concept of Gandhiji's political philosophy. According to Gandhiji, Swaraj is a state of being of individuals and nations. Everybody should be. Gandhiji accepted, developed this concept during the Indian freedom struggle. he had inward as well as outward focus regarding Swaraj. Gandhiji very predominantly said that our Swaraj is not the copy of England, nor we want self-government of the type of South Africa, Canada, or Australia. For Swaraj is built in the Indian civilization. Whatever we are, will not follow the system being followed in England or any other country. Swaraj means as the Indian people want to rule their own country. Then comes the concept of Satyagraha. Gandhiji discovered this term of Satyagraha during his endless non-violent resistance movements against racial discrimination in South Africa. He described Satyagraha as firmness in a good cause. It stands for a ceaseless pursuit of truth without resorting to hatred, ill will, or animosity. His concept does not imply passivity, weakness, or helplessness. It is an attitude of mind and a way of life. It is an action oriented search and the adherence to truth. It is a non violent fight against untruth. So basically, Satyagraha is that you need to fight for your truth. And now comes the concept of truth. Truth basically is harmony of thoughts with words and the words with actions. So truth is nothing. Truth is just whatever thoughts you are having in mind, you need to speak those thoughts and you need to convert them into action. When you can convert all your thoughts into actions, nobody in this world will be doing anything bad. So basically, these are our thoughts which lead, when we are not converting them into action, they lead to all kind of violence in the society. Then is non-possession. As I have already told you that Gandhiji was a great admirer of Bhagavad Gita, and non-possession is one of the basic elements and the theory being taught in Bhagavad Gita. So according to Gandhiji, non-possession means non-dependence on materialistic things. It implies total abolition of private property in all kinds of belongings. You should not be thinking about this is me, this is mine, my house, my food, my car, my son, my daughter. No, non-possession of things. Possession is not present in nature. God creates everything in accordance with the need of the hour. See, the trees grow. They don't eat their own fruits. They don't consume their own oxygen. They give it to others. So that is how he was trying to teach that possession is not something given to us by nature. So we should have the policy of non-possession. Then comes democracy. Gandhiji said, true democracy cannot be worked by 20 men sitting at the center. It has to be worked from below by the people of every village. Every person, every citizen of India, in the farthest of the villages of India, who is living in the farthest of the villages of India, should have the right, should have the powers in India. Democracy is not a state in which people act like sheep, that one is going in this way, all will go in the similar way. Under democracy, individual liberty of opinion and action is jealously guarded. Basically, everybody has the right to speak. Everybody has the power to exercise his rights and duties. Then comes the concept of untouchability. This is one of the major philosophies again by Gandhiji. He was a pioneer leader who made the removal of untouchability as his life's mission. This was really one of his life's mission because he felt and he really suffered this racial discrimination and untouchability while he was living in England as well as while he was in South Africa. So he became a pioneer leader that this thing should be removed from India also. He made untouchability a national issue. He fought for the removal of untouchability. Basically, he believed that India's real problem on removing untouchability is that people really didn't think untouchability as a problem. He made it a national issue. He made people understand that this is such a big or a very serious issue. So he tried to remove that. Then after untouchability, about Swadeshi and cottage industries, as we all know, He made khadi he made khadi popular. His charkha was very popular. So Gandhiji encouraged that more and more use of Indian products. People should largely depend on local produce. Swadeshi helps in improving the range and quality of local goods. The cost will also go down due to our indigenous skills and resources. And the Swadeshi products have lesser need for marketing, transport, and storage. So basically, Swadeshi is not the cult of hatred that we don't want to use anybody else's products, but it is a doctrine of self help. We want to help our own country first. So he basically gave that concept of using Swadeshi products and to, we can say, to encourage cottage industries in India. Then last point that we are going to discuss here is about favoring the women rights. During that era, yes, women, Gandhiji has recognized that men and women are equal. It is very evident nature has given equal rights to women. But he stood in favor of women's education and rights. At that particular time, women were not given that much encouragement to study. Education is like a basic right of every human being, but women were being forbidden of their basic rights. He never underestimated this women power. Gandhiji made many statements in favor of women and their status and rights. For example, like his statements, I'll just quote one of his statements, that women is the noblest creation of what? Of the God. She is the personification of self-sacrifice. She is anyway superior to man in her religious devotion. Women is incarnation of ahimsa. So by these statements, we can understand that how much Gandhiji was in favor of the women rights. And during his Indian national movement, the freedom struggle also, he included women in his Indian national movement because he knew that women are very strong-hearted people. They can sacrifice each and everything. So these are some of the important traits or the unique traits of Gandhiji's personality, which really made him Mahatma Gandhi. So because he possessed all these qualities, we call him Mahatma. So I hope students, you understood the concept about Gandhiji till here now. And I'll continue further about the evaluation of Gandhiji's work and the principles given by Gandhiji and their application in management in my coming lecture. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the lecture. Thank you.